Ladies and gentlemen, your leadership challenge. You left England in August 1914 with the goal to set a record to travel to and to travel across Antarctica. Yes, I did say to walk across Antarctica. You and your crew of 27 are on the modern icebreaker that you see behind me, the beautiful Endurance. Note the wonderfully strong wooden hull and the reliable source of power. The sails aren't even out. By happenstance of that same month, keep in mind as well that the British declared war on Germany in August 1914. Now, you began your sailing career as an apprentice, and at age 24, you were certified as a British Master Mariner. Yes, indeed, you are a Red Seal, Journey Person Mariner. Your name is Ernest Shackleton, and you will soon, eventually be, rather, Sir Ernest Shackleton. And you have some challenges ahead of you that will test your every leadership ability to a level that you never before imagined. Now, on your trip, unfortunately, things start to go wrong early in your venture. And just like today's turbulent times, your effective leadership will be absolutely critical. Your first challenge arrives early in your trek, in January 1950, just as you near the Antarctic continent. Unfortunately, you become trapped in the sea ice, and you're only 85 miles from land. Whoops, what are you going to do? You've missed land by that much. Now, as captain, you have a responsibility to keep the ship routines as normal as possible. You undertake scientific testing. You make sure your crew completes their fitness training. You, of course, keep the regular cleaning schedule, regular meals, and social times. But 8 months later, that's now October 1915, the Endeavour starts to take on water. The pressure from the ice finally takes over. The ship sinks the next month. Now, fortunately, you have salvaged the lifeboats and the stores, at least what's left of the stores, and you and your crew now have to quickly abandon the ship, and you set up camp on an ice floe. On an ice floe, if you can imagine. And you camp on the ice floe for the next 5 months. Again, you as captain, Captain Shackleton, you must keep things as normal as possible. Obviously, team goals have been reinvented. Exploration and record setting are now out of the picture, and survival becomes your vision. Now, your leadership challenge, and I hope this is an appropriate follow-up to what Jim mentioned, your leadership challenge, as a leader, you must now have, first of all, an unshakable faith in your mission. Your new mission now is survival, and protect your crew. Once again, you must have great faith in yourself, and you must have great faith in your team. Remember, now you're on an ice floe. Guess what happens next? Yes, the ice floe starts to break up. It is, after all, the end of summer in the southern hemisphere, and as fall nears, the ice has been deteriorating. It's simply not as strong as it once was, and it's April 1960. You with me on the dates? And by the way, the other events, World War I, are still taking priority on the news, and if you had a BlackBerry at that time, I don't think you get much of a response from the homeland about coming to try and save you. I think there were other priorities. Doesn't that sound familiar to today's events? Look how other circumstances can overtake us. Who would have visualized the import of the country of Greece in the world economy? Back to Shackleton, back to you as captain. Shackleton at this time noted in his diary that he had to keep the crews focused on the future. Previous plans were now irrelevant, and now his goal, all of their goal, was to get home safely. And you, all of you, must use every resource at your hands. As the ice broke up, you order your men to the lifeboats, and you head out to find land. And yay, you do arrive on land some 5 days later. Can you imagine 5 days in a lifeboat near Antarctica? But finally a break. And you land on an island called Elephant Island. But unfortunately, it's uninhabited. But everyone is safe. You're exhausted, but you have your crew together. So they calm, everybody settles into the routine. 2 weeks later, Shackleton and a crew of 5 set out in that same open lifeboat for a whaling station that they knew about that was some 800 miles away. And they make it. They land on South Georgia Island, which is where this whaling station is, but wouldn't you know it, they land on the opposite side of the island to where the whaling station is. But finally, on May 20, you, Captain Shackleton, and 2 others finally arrive at the whaling station after walking 32 miles across a mountainous island in 36 hours. On August 30, 1916, again, think of what's going on in the world, Shackleton was finally able to borrow a tugboat from the Chilean government, mind you, to retrieve his crew. The Brits were unwilling to provide any sort of ship support. Finally, on May 17, 1917, Shackleton and his entire crew arrived back in England, some 3 years after they left. Now, isn't that a humbling story? But what a great case study on leadership principles. This expedition has only recently been studied for its lessons to be learned, and I think it's a beautiful case study. And there's a great article, by the way, on this assessment in the New York Times if you're interested. Now reflect on the planning and the work that went on. The outcome at the end was great. Everybody survived. And we could be critical of Shackleton's planning. Like, why on earth would he leave just as the war is breaking out, etc.? But everyone, please pause for a moment and reflect on your business, personal, and leadership challenges. What is your vision? How do you adjust your vision? And how are you going to get there? And how are you going to handle the inevitable bumps in the road? The ice floes melt, and so on. Harvard Business School historian Nancy Keene drew the following fabulous lessons from Shackleton's journey. The first is, and business leaders, I'm sure you will verify this, you must have an intense personal commitment to your mission and to your team. As the leader, you must take unwavering responsibility for your team, and most importantly, you must consistently and constantly demonstrate much needed invention. To get his men home safely, Shackleton led them across ice, sea, land, with all the tools that he could muster. Have a look at this slide. This combination, credible commitment to a larger purpose and flexible, imaginative methods to achieve a goal, they are increasingly important in our tumultuous times. The credible commitment to a larger purpose and flexible, imaginative methods. Isn't that what we are all about? Learners, that's what I hope our program will instill in you. Business leaders, I hope that's what you practice in your business. Does this work for you or in your field of business? So what does Shackleton's Antarctic experience have to do with our great province in general, and the Saskatchewan Institute of Applied Science and Technology in particular? Our times and challenges require innovation. And I suggest, I humbly hope you'll reflect on your work. It's all about innovation. Members of the legislature, your worship, Mr. Mayor, board members, SIAST colleagues, students and guests, thank you very much for joining us this evening. And thank you very much for allowing me to be with you and to reflect on just a little bit of the innovation that I have noted at our great organization over the past 10 years. And within our organization, the credible commitment to a larger purpose and flexible, imaginative methods. Full credit within SIAST must go to our great team of instructors, and there's many that are here this evening. Our great staff, our great management, and the board that all of us are so blessed to have in a leadership role. Keep in mind as well that our SIAST vision is that we will be a global leader in innovation and innovative education, valued for student success and advancing social and economic prosperity. So please allow me to highlight some of that innovation. And let me begin, as you might expect, by first looking at our innovative programming. Now, we have added programming as required, and we do have in total count just about 150 programs, which puts us in the rank of the top 5 in the country. And we update our offerings on a regular basis, along with our administrative procedures and practices. We constantly and consistently innovate. Examples of new programs, I hope you're aware, particularly in Moose Jaw, of our insurance stream and our business program that's based here at Palliser. I hope you're aware of the tremendous leadership that's been demonstrated from Palliser campus in our business programs that are now brokered across international boundaries. And I'll highlight some of that in a bit. I hope you're aware of our psychiatric nursing program, our new collaborative nursing program with the University of Regina, and so on and so on. It's important for you to know, as taxpayers, that more than 50 of our programs have national certification or credentialing standards. And I'm proud to report out to you that every one of our programs that has national accreditation standards is at the maximum accreditation period. Not one of our programs is on watch or probation. And it's all about the quality of instruction, the quality of innovation that are keys to the certification process. And I can also assure you that our procurement procedures, our accounting practices, and our IT support are state of the art.